What's going on, everybody? It's Stas here. So as expected, today has been very, very rocky thus far. The S&P was up in the morning, then it went down, and all the indexes went down, and now we're back in the green. So we got to break down what's going on in these markets. We got to also talk about some stocks, and I want to run through the Google earnings report very quickly for you guys. But before we do that, make sure to get your free money from Moomoo, up to 6 stocks, each up to $3,500. All you guys got to do is use my link down below or go to StasSurfS.com/Moomoo, deposit at least $100, and boom, you get your money. And if you don't like Moomoo, you can take out your 100 and keep all of your free stocks. Literally, it's free money, guys. Again, link down below. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. So it's almost 1:15 right now on the East Coast, and like I said in the intro, guys, we were red in the morning, shot up, or wait, no, I'm mixing the orders up now. We were green in the morning, then we went red, and now we're back in the green. So it's just been a crazy roller coaster. So right now, SPY's up 1.2%, the NASDAQ's up over 1%, Russell's up 0.25%, and we have the Dow Jones up a little bit over 1% as well. We have the VIX down 9.3%, now it's sitting at about 30, still a very, very elevated level for the VIX, guys, and we have gold down 0.8%, silver down about 0.4%. So metals, VIX down, all the indexes are up right now, which is very, very good. But overall, guys, I would not get excited or just overly bullish quite yet, just because we have a little green day today, because overall we are noticing on the 20-day chart we're still on a downtrend. We're still under both moving averages on SPY and on QQQ. Same thing, under both moving averages on the 20-day chart. We have a death cross as well. So this is simply based on what we're seeing right now, that is, guys. Of course, things are always subject to change, but based on what we're seeing right now, this is simply a dead cat bounce. A bull trap. It very well could be a bull trap. That is what we're getting right now, guys. And until the technicals prove me otherwise, show me otherwise, that's what I'm going with. Because, again, we are still under both moving averages on the 20-day chart for both SPY and QQQ, right? So let's see what's going on here. And actually, let me show you the intraday very quickly so you can see how volatile this has been, right? So look, in the morning, we shot up. QQQ went from about 317 at market open. It shot up to about 323. So it ran up in the first, no joke, guys, the first 20 minutes of the day. This thing ran up 2%, right? About 1.85%. And then from that point, and that was only at 9:50 a.m., guys, when it hit 323. QQQ went all the way down to 315. So then it proceeded to lose 2.5% of its value. So it shot up about 2%, then dropped 2.5%, and now from the low of the day, or at least the low of the day when I'm filming this video, being about 315, we're now up about 1.4% from that level. So that should go and show you how volatile these markets have been. The swings are just ridiculous, guys, intraday, and SPY swings are probably not as drastic as that, but still, it is swinging very aggressively. SPY went up about 1.2% in the first 20-30 minutes of the day. Then it dropped about 1.7%. It lost all of that and gave back some to the markets, right? And from that point, 415 on SPY, which was the low of the day, at least as of now, SPY went up from 415 to where it is now, about 421. It has gone up 1.3%. So you guys get the point. We're moving up very aggressively, down very aggressively, and who knows? Right now we're green, but we could very well end off the day red. That is possible. So what do you guys think? Drop me a comment down below. Make sure to smash the like button if you haven't done so already, and we're getting super close, guys, to 25,000 subscribers. Each day we keep chipping on away. So if you're watching this and we're not at 25,000 yet, well, and you're not subscribed, that is, make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you as always. And now let's break down what's going on with Google, which right now, Google stock, let's see, it is down 3% on the day, down about $75 a share. And you should know at this point, because I talk about it all the time, but Google's been in a bear market now. It officially is now down. Well, I mean, it was in a bear market for the past couple of days, but now it's down even more. Obviously, it's down 25% from that all-time high when I'm filming this. And if you guys take a look at the low from yesterday, which was right around 2,200, it got down almost 27.5% from the all-time high. So Google's moving down pretty aggressively, and this month of April has just been a disaster for Google. Just in April, since the 5th of April, and for a lot of stocks for that matter, guys, but for Google in particular, in April, it has lost 22% of its value. So the whole bear market pretty much came 3 weeks ago. So the past 3 weeks, it has just been abysmal for this stock and a lot of stocks out there, for the entire market for the most part, right? So let's talk about, I don't want to focus too much on the charts for Google. Let's dive into the Safari tab and see what is going on with these numbers. We did talk about them briefly yesterday, but I do want to hop a little bit more in depth here and see what is going on in terms of the different segments of their business. All right, we're looking good, so that's good. All right, so these are the first quarter, again, 2022 results from Alphabet, also known as Google. So we had revenues of $68 billion last year in the same quarter. The quarter ended March 31st, 2021. They did $55.3 billion. So year over year, that's a 23% increase in revenues, and that is actually about 11% lower from what we saw in terms of 2020 to 2021's growth, right? So from 2020 to 2021, you guys can see this 34% number. That's what we got at that point, right? And we just had 23%. So growth is still there. Growth is still fantastic, but, that one-off year that was really good during COVID, from 2020 to 21, and from 2019 2020, that growth is slowly coming down, but it's not like Google's growth is now going to go down to 5% year over year. It might find itself anywhere from 20 to 25%. Maybe some quarters are better, some quarters are worse, right? So they're doing about, again, 23% year over year. Revenue growth, pretty solid there. Operating income, last year, $16.4 billion. They just did about $20 billion, and their operating margin is 30%, pretty solid. And net income is actually down a little bit year over year. And if you guys remember, we talked about it yesterday, the EPS number missed, versus the estimate for the quarter. And you guys can see net income last year, 2021, March ended, it was right around $17.9 billion. Now we just had a $16.4 billion number, which is not the end of the world, but year over year, it is a decline. And this goes to show right here, guys, this is going to show you, let me make my face a little bit bigger. This is going to show you right here the different segments, right? We have Google Search and Other, YouTube Ads, Google Network, Advertising, yada, 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 Google Cloud. So this is going to show you how the segments have done year over year. So for YouTube Ads, we'll talk about Google Search and Other first. Google Search and Other, they were at $31.8 billion last year. They just did about $39.6 billion, which is a growth here. Let's see, I have my percentage increase calculator because we can't see the percentage growth here on the report. So let me do some math here and let me punch in some numbers so we can see the growth, guys. So the growth for Google Search and Other year over year was 24.27%. Not too bad. Now let's see what YouTube Ads was, and I actually already did this earlier, so I know it was about 14%, but let me double check to make sure with you guys, which honestly, guys, 14% growth for YouTube Ads year over year, that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, I don't want to say extremely disappointing, but it is disappointing, but that kind of goes with what I said earlier about the revenue in general. We had a one-off 2 years that the growth was extraordinary. Now we're going to see a little bit of a retracement in the short term. That's kind of what I'm thinking, and that's kind of what we got. Google Network grew about 20%. I did that calculation earlier, so take my word on that. Let's see Google Advertising. So as you guys can see here, Google Advertising is up about 22.3% year over year, and let's see here, Google Cloud went from 40.47. Let's do this very quickly, guys. 40.47 to 58.21. Oh my God! Wow, look at that. 43% growth. 43% growth for Google Cloud. Not too bad. So we got to monitor that over the next couple of quarters because that's clearly the smallest. Or I don't know if it is exactly the smallest, but based on this, what I'm seeing, it is. It's bringing in the least amount of money in terms of a segment for business or for Google's or Alphabet's business. So we're going to see if this continues growing at these extraordinary levels. It probably won't grow 40-50%, year over year every single quarter, but we're going to be watching it because, again, Google Cloud is a smaller portion of their business. And if we come down here a little bit, I want to go over the balance sheet to see what's going on before we do move on to some other stocks here. And let me move my face again to make sure you guys can see everything here. So when I'm looking at a balance sheet, I'm looking at a couple of different things. But first and foremost, I want to see, of course, obviously assets versus liabilities, but I want to see how much cash the company has. I want to see how much money they have in current assets, which they can really liquidate and get to liquid cash within 12 months. Their short-term assets. I want to see how much in current assets they have versus current liabilities. Have you heard of the current ratio? That's what that is. Current assets over current liabilities. And we'll take a look here at total liabilities in a second. But right now, current assets, and let's see here, total current assets. Total current assets for Google are $177 billion, and total assets or current liabilities rather, total current liabilities are $61 billion. So $177 billion in total current assets, $61 billion in total current liabilities, which total current liabilities are their short-term financial obligations that a company needs to pay within the next 12 months, right? That's what a short-term liability, total current liability is, right? So at this point, they have way more current assets than current liabilities. And if you guys look at this, their total cash equivalents, and marketable securities is $133 billion, meaning if they wanted to today, they can go and wipe out, or in the next couple of days, they can go wipe out their entire current liability number, which again is $61 billion. And now that I'm looking at it, their total liabilities are $103 billion, which includes long-term debt, lease liabilities, and a bunch of other crap. So if they wanted to, they can take their cash equivalents, marketable securities, and they can pay off literally all their debts. Will that be the smartest thing to do? Probably not. No, it would not be. But they could do that, which means in terms of financial health, this company is very healthy, guys. Very, very healthy, nice balance sheet. And I don't want to go too deep into, other things. We kind of talked about the basics here, what I look at. Again, very important to look at that balance sheet to make sure the company's healthy. And we broke down the individual segments. So, let me know your thoughts about Google. I'd love to know, as always. And let's talk about some more stocks now, which I have two more. Then we'll wrap this video up. So I'm also keeping my eyes on Freeport-McMoRan, which I think I called out about a week or two ago, and it really hasn't done much. But today when I'm filming this, it's up over 5%. And it really looks like it's trying to make a move back towards the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. And what we're noticing in the grand scheme of things here is that the uptrend is clearly continuing. We're holding this channel, we're riding the uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, all that good stuff. And we just happen to pop right around the support of the channel today. And again, we're up about 5% when I'm filming this video. So I want to see if this momentum continues. And let me zoom in a little bit. Actually, look at this, guys. We're at a big resistance right now. We're at about $43. $42.50, which was support in the middle of March. If we're able to get out of there, now we're talking mid-high 40s is where we're going, in my opinion, which is right by the moving averages on the 4-hour chart. So I'm just going to set an alert at $43 right now for Freeport-McMoRan FCX, and we'll see what it does from there. Oops, I just typed in FCX instead of the price. I'm an idiot. I don't know why I did that. Mark is at or above $43. Perfect. And the last one is Enphase, which we talked about yesterday, so I don't want to dive too deep into it right now, but they reported numbers. The numbers were good. Guidance was good. The stock is up 9%. Look at this, guys. And we're fighting with the moving averages as I'm making this video. So my alert that I put up, I put this up yesterday, I believe, at 185. It's still there, and we very well might not hit 185 this week. We might not even hit it next week, guys. But eventually, if we do start breaking out of that, level, the moving averages right around 185, I'm thinking Enphase has a shot to go 200 plus again, no freaking problem. So I'm watching it for that reason, and of course, I'll keep you guys updated on my thoughts with Enphase and all these other stocks, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments, and let me know, do you want me to break down? Of course, we break down a lot of charts on the channel, but would you want me to break down more of the financial side of things, like what we just did with Google? We looked at the report a little bit. Would you want me to do that? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts on that. Make sure to smash the like button and subscribe. Join my Patreon as well, and get your free money from Moomoo if you haven't. Up to 6 stocks, each up to $3,500. Just use my link down below, deposit at least $100, and boom, you get your money. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.